next topic is common spec for all container orchestrators. Cool.
I'm Suraj Deshmukh, and so today I want to talk to you about a specification. So let me put it this way: like, so we have, we are talking about multiple container orchestration systems. There is Kubernetes, there is OpenShift, there is Dace, Aprinda, and whatever. So everyone has their own way of defining the artifacts, or how do you define your application. So it's hard for a developer to like go there and define multiple containers and then finally deploy it. So to address this problem, we came up with something called as we came up with a specification which is like minimal. A developer can go ahead and write it. It might look like Docker Compose because it's heavily influenced from it, but yeah, it has add-ons on top of it. So yeah, so this specification, we are like proposing it to the wider community where people can come and contribute. We call it Open Compose because it's influence from Compose, and also it's open. So this is the blog that went out, which explains how it looks like and why we decided to go with something like this. So yeah, there is a detailed discussion around this in KubeCon if anyone is going in and attending a dev sprint there. And yeah, so I'll give you a demo. So yeah, I have a simple services.yaml file. Basically, so the aim is that all orchestration providers will start reading files like this. I hope this is readable to everyone. And then once everyone tries and supports this, so this becomes a DSL. Like, it works for whatever container orchestrator you go for, be it Mesos Marathon or OpenShift or Kubernetes or like whatever. This could become limited depending on what that provider or what that underlying system supports. But like, this is the thing that we are trying to tackle. So yesterday I gave one more lightning talk on a tool called Compose. So today I'm gonna like use the same tool to give a demo again, like how this tool can be, like this tool supports Open Compose as well. So if I do a convert, -y. So this has like created an artifacts for Kubernetes here, because by default with Compose the default provider for Compose is Kubernetes. So this can, the code that other providers like Kubernetes and OpenShift can use this tool as a library to do conversion right now. So this spec is still under heavy modification. We would like more people to come in and like try it out and say what their views are on this. And we would like more orchestrators, container orchestrators to join in, so that at the end of the day, we would want developers and the users to have a consistent experience, be it whatever platform down there. So if you want to read more about it, you can go to Red Hat-developer/OpenCompose. The spec is there on GitHub. And yeah, so there is also a demo about it. You can go and try out. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
The next talk is getting started with OpenShift on your laptop.
My name is Budram Guru. I work in Red Hat. And yeah, so in today's morning, Lala basically give the brief discussion about OpenShift. today in this lightning talk, I'm going to show how simple you can get started with your OpenShift single node in your own laptop. So the platform I'm using is Container Development Kit, and basically it's a Vagrant way. So let's start with the Vagrant file. So you basically needs a box that's available in developers.redhat.com website, and I just added into as a CDK V2 box. And there are other bunch of things that is provided from the website. So there are a bunch of Vagrant files and Vagrant plugins that need to be added. Like you can see there are like required plugins as Vagrant Service Manager, Vagrant Registration, and SSFH. So this Service Manager is basically a CLI interface, so that you can quickly basically get started with your own host. You don't need to go into VM and perform your own stuff. And registration is used for basically get started with the subscription thing. And Vagrant SSFH is for kind of a mounting solution. It's a bidirectional mounting based on SSFH, based on SSH. So let's get started with the demo. Just a second, yeah. So I just need to do Vagrant up. You get this Vagrant file, and yeah, it takes some time. So till then, I just introduce about the website I mentioned. So it's developers.redhat.com. You get a kind of a $0 subscription, and you get a chance to basically get your hands dirty with other technologies like all the Red Hat technologies, even including Rail. So you can get to the container development here, and you can just download from the download section. Yeah, it's like that. And there are other things like get started things. It basically instruct you to download. Oh, so this is the Windows way to Windows recommended way to get started with CDK. So okay, I need to add my credentials. It takes some time. Yeah. So yeah, that's the developers .redhat site, and there is a upstream repo for this project. So that's Atomic Developer Bundle, and we do all the upstream work here. So it has the nice documentation. You can get through it, and there is a documentation here too in this section. I think yeah, it's. So till then, there is one project which I'm heavily using here to get. So I want to talk a little bit about this plugin. Basically, it's a CLI interface, and you basically do all the commands line communication through this plugin from your host. It provides most of the commands like what your box configuration. You can basically install your binaries from the command line. You don't need to go into the VM. So it provides all the services like, okay, what is my service status, and how can I install my own binaries. Okay, so if you see, the Docker service has been started. These are just the provisioning steps, and at the end of this step, it will give you a nice message. Okay, OpenShift has been set up. So let's start with accessing the console. All right. So you can start. I think I have opened already. So I just need to pass this. Yeah. So you can see my console is running. And I just, so yeah, that's the like, get start with the OpenShift in a simple way. And the other things I'm talking about, like Service Manager. So let's get started with the commands available with the Service Manager. You can see that there is like env command to get all the environments related to the VM, the box, the operations like restart, start, stop, everything. And there is install CLI. It basically helps you to install the binaries related to Docker, related to OpenShift or Kubernetes. You don't need to go to the like web and search for the particular version and download it. It basically automatically does this task. So let's install it. So you just need to fire this command and export this path, and it basically set up the OC binary, OpenShift client binary. You can see, and you just do OC login. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's it. And I will not do the full deployment because the demo is all about how to get started with your OpenShift cluster easy. So yeah, that's it for the demo. Thanks.
Dev code review.
And from yesterday, we have been fully in DevOps. To exactly say, we are purely in Ops, only in Kubernetes, Dockers, how to do the deployments, containerization. And I don't know what wrong did developers do. How many developers here? All developers, but all talking about Ops only. So in dev part, how many of you have done code review? Gerrit, with Gerrit? And see only 4 people raising hands. So Gerrit, it's a code review tool which helps for the developers. So now I'm going to talk in the perspective of developers. So what exactly is this code review? As you can see, I think so all of you will be aware of Git. But Gerrit, what it does is it runs on top of the Gerrit. We have to just install the Gerrit over the Git, and Git already have one repositories. And what the Gerrit does is it creates an additional repository called a code review repository. So what the developer will be able to do is they will be able to push the code to the code review repository, and from the code review repository, you can once they push, they will be able to see the changes. I'm right now opening the Gerrit hub. See, once when they push the changes to the code review repository, these are the changes some developer have pushed. So we can able to see and give the commands for the files, like what are the whether this can pass through the deployment, whether this code will run like that. Those commands they can give over here. And the code initially before going to build itself, it can be prevented if there is some wrong code is there. So once when they give the commands, and there will be an option to push the code, give the ratings for the code. You can consider. Okay. So there will be options for giving ratings over here. And if they give -1, and if the multiple, you can set the threshold levels here. So based on total number of thresholds, it will be allowed to pass to the next level, or it will be reverted back to the developer. This is how the code review happens. So that's how we can prevent the bad code to be moving to the centralized repository, and we can have someone to blame also. So who is the person who reviewed our code? And so my team lead have reviewed the code, the manager have reviewed the code. So once build gets fails also, we can have someone to blame for that. I think so developers happy for that. These are these benefits. We can find the bugs early, coding standards, compilance, high software security, team cohesion. Basically, we are using the peer pressure to do the code review. These are some Gartner's report, how it is increased. That's it. Thanks.
From yesterday, we are listening more about this technical topics like Kubernetes, Docker, and everything. So everyone shared their experiences and use cases by using all these tools, and also we have gained a lot of knowledge and how to overcome some of the problems. So while coming to DevOps, see DevOps is not a single entity which came all of a sudden. It was a lot of hard work and a lot of experienced things which all pitched together and formed this name called DevOps. If you know the history of DevOps and DevOps days, you might be knowing a guy, Patrick Debius, who initiated this DevOps revolution across the world. So what I would like to say is DevOps is not only part of the technical things and to achieve things, it's also a part of a business perspective also. By end of the day, what we are going to achieve by using all these tools is business profits. What, as a company, as an organization, when we are getting satisfied is by getting a customer satisfaction in the form of feedback and also the quarterly results, which makes us happy as part of the organization. And what I would like to say is, DevOps is not only a technical part, it's a culture and an experience-based movement. So what I would like to tell is, see, someone, if you want to know anything about DevOps is, there is a program called DevOps Foundation, which is a certified program given by DevOps Institute, where they have gathered all the details and how to achieve a business in a business perspective, and also what are the principles and best practices of DevOps. There are three ways, first way, second way, and third way, and there are a lot of things in that. Automation and using of these release tools is a small part. Not only alone tools make your business up, making stabilization of dev as well as ops make your business really happy and more. So what, if your people are interested on DevOps is, please visit DevOps Institute website, and if you want to do, you can do the DevOps program certification. Based on my experience of DevOps Founders certification, what I can conclude about DevOps is not a tool, it's not a spec, it's not a title, it's an experience-based movement, and it's decentralized and it's open to all. Thank you.
The next one, I hope the speaker is here, SE Linux coloring book.
So today there is a security talk and people talked about how they disable SE Linux. I thought why not giving a quick talk about what is SE Linux, right? So it's a very nice coloring book available in the internet. You can just search SE Linux coloring book, created by Dan Walsh and who maintains SE Linux, and Maren Duffy. So SE Linux is basically a labeling system. That's it. So what it does, it labels all the processes and all the file system considers objects. It labels them and makes sure that when the label matches, those things can access only those things. I mean, not anything else. So for example, if I'm coming to this hotel, right? The conference is in this room. So if I go and roam around in some hotel room, there's something wrong with me, right? I should be coming to this room to give a talk or listen to a talk. So this is how basically SE Linux enforces this kind of rules, that the process, let's say it's a HTTP process, it should only access var lib www/html, the files there. It's not accessing that, but trying to access some other files which is not relevant. That means something is wrong. So how do you basically fix that, right? So this coloring books is very simple. So here we have two animals, right? One is cat, one is dog, and they have food. So one is cat chow, one is dog chow. So cat is allowed to eat cat chow, a dog is allowed to eat dog chow, right? So then what happens is, if you see. So these names are like cat chow food and dog chow food, right? These are labels basically. Then the cat is allowed to eat cat food and dog is allowed to eat dog chow. But if at all the dog try to eat cat food, right? because you see the labels are different. Then the kernel, SLNX module in kernel try to intervene there. So by default, it actually blocks everything. Then only allows whatever labels are allowed. So that's the reason when you see sometimes SLNX doesn't allow some files or something, that means your labels are not perfectly set. And it might be a security vulnerability or something. So that's the first sign, right? So then there's something called multi-category, I think, just multi-category security. Yes, that's right. So what happens is you might have dogs of different breeds. I mean, same processes, but for different purposes. So then how do you do that? So what they do is they basically create a random thing, a random tag, and then associate with that. So if you see here, so this is like dog random 1, this for one dog, and then the dog random 2 for another dog. So if the Fido dog, which is another breed, try to eat the food of other dog, it does not allow it. So it again blocks it. So that's basically a very simple way of describing. The other part is MLS, multi-level security. What it does is, in military, you might have known that up to a rank, you are allowed to see informations below your rank, but if you are not allowed to see information above your rank. So it works that way. So that kind of security is implemented here. So here, Greyhound can eat this other dog breed, which is Chuchuhua, I guess. Sorry. So he is allowed to eat his food, but the small dog is not allowed to eat the bigger dog food because he cannot digest it. So that's it. Thank you.
Hey, so the next and last talk in the Lightning Talks round is Jenkins for mobile apps.
Work at, sorry. Hi everyone, my name is Guru Pratap. I work at Gojek as an Android developer, and I have been working on the CI/CD setup for Android and iOS setup. So I started working on Android last year, and very soon we realized for all other types of code, it's similar to Android or any mobile apps. It's important to test your code, and if you test your code, then only you'll have to give. Then only you'll be able to give your consumer a good experience. Otherwise, you get failures at the point in production, which is when the consumer uses your app. So we didn't used to have a CI setup at that point of time, and it was really difficult. So we started with Android, and we put up a similar cycle. Like we have a build, then unit test, and then we have a smoke test suite, which consists of the APM tests, and we run those at like a commit basis thing. And so Android was pretty easy. But for iOS, it's quite difficult. It has a lot of things, the provisioning profiles and the certificates and all that you have to manage. So we came across a tool called Fastlane, which helped us a lot in that. And we have been using that till now. So it's pretty easy to use. And you should check that out if you have an iOS app in production. So what actually, how we modified our CI setup is we set it up according to our needs. We have a lot of products, like a couple of speakers from Gojek have already talked about. We have a lot of services, and so the mobile app has a lot of products, and the teams work in parallel because of the release cycles. And so we have set it up as a team branch setup for different products, and we have different variants of the apps for different stakeholders. So we have nightly products for the product team to go through. We have the alpha or the beta products for the other stakeholders, like product owners and the team as a whole, to go through the app and test it out. So that is all automated through Jenkins, and it has been pretty helpful. We were dependent on single developers for these things, but now it's done all through Jenkins. So that should be all. Thanks a lot.